What is up, guys? Lildogdog here. Today I'm bringing you a quest guide for the Defender of Varrock quest. Now this is a slightly difficult quest. It takes about half an hour to 45 minutes to complete, depending on your luck with a certain part of the quest. And yeah, let's get into it. So for quest requirements, there are quite a few. You're going to need to have completed Shield of Arav, as well as receiving the kudos for that quest by speaking to Historian Minos on the second floor of the Varrock Museum. You're going to need to have completed the Knight's Sword, Demon Slayer, Temple of Ikov, Family Crest, What Lies Below, and the Garden of Tranquility quest, as long as any prerequisite quests to those quests. Sorry about that, I got a little ahead of myself there. I stutter sometimes, don't judge me. Anyways, that's all for the quest requirements. Let's get into the skill requirements. For those skill requirements, we have 51 plus Agility, 51 plus Hunter, 54 plus Smithing, that is not boostable, 59 plus Mining for what is required. So you need to have those. Those Agility, Hunter, and Mining skills are boostable, so if you're just under that, you can bring the boosting items to get to those levels when it's needed. And 80 plus Combat would be helpful for this quest, as you have to fight 6 level 86 zombies. And if you're not using magic, they can be kind of difficult to attack. So yeah, that's just my recommendation for that. It's not a requirement, it's just recommended. As for what items you're going to actually need to complete this quest so that you're not running back and forth to the bank, you're going to need 1 spade, 1 light source. That light source can be an oil lantern, a candle, anything, just you need something that can light up a cavern. And then you're going to need that set of combat equipment for fighting those zombies. That's not actually needed, but it kind of is to complete the quest. It's just going to take way too long if you don't have a set of combat equipment. So yeah. And as for some items I'm going to recommend, if you're less than level 100, it might be helpful to bring around 10 food just for those fights. So Varrock teletabs, just getting there and back, would be pretty helpful. And then a set of magic combat equipment, as the monsters you're going to have to fight during this quest are weak to magic, so it can be helpful to have the right side of the combat triangle on your side. To start this quest, you're going to want to speak to Captain Roven on the second floor of the Varrock Palace in the northwestern corner. So as I said, climb up the stairs to speak to Captain Roven, and then choose the first chat option when available. Ooh, good, sounds like a quest. He's going to summon one of his other guys who knows about the zombies in the graveyard that he's going to take you to in the wilderness. Don't worry, it's an instanced wilderness, so you can't be PK'd. Accept the quest when it's an option, and then choose the first chat option. Okay, let's get going, as long as you have all the items you need. Now you're going to be teleported into the wilderness just outside of the graveyard here. Walk into the graveyard, and then you're going to speak to Horvin. This is going to trigger a cutscene in which he notices some footprints leading out of the graveyard. Now what you have to do is look around and inspect features around the graveyard to find footprints once the cutscene is over. Now that some footprints are going to appear, which give you a starting point, and then you need to search items near the end of those footprints to find where the tracks lead from then on. This is the only part of the quest that requires the Hunter skill, so if you need it now, this is when you're going to want to boost it. So you can expect tree stumps, rocks, trees, bushes, bones, really anything. When you mouse over it, it'll give you the option to inspect. You should inspect it. You'll be able to see the tracks on the ground. You can't see them too clearly until I turn my graphics down later. On my screen, I realized I made a mistake there, but you can see that the tracks are next to the tile there, and when I search this bush just to the right near the graveyard, I'm going to find some more tracks that I can follow and then search from that on. It's a bit like tracking when you're doing Hunter. You just have to inspect the items around, and you'll find tracks leading to the next point. So I'm going to speed it up from here on because it is a very long process. There are a lot of dead ends you can find. It'll tell you when you find a dead end and when you need to follow a different set of tracks. A lot of times these can go around in circles, and you'll have to just inspect around until you find a random spot. Eventually, after following the tracks, you're going to get a Grummy Key. This is used to open the Chaos Temple at a later point in the quest after you find the end of these tracks. So once you find the key, just continue searching the objects around you to find where the tracks go. They should lead over to this group of trees here. Not the one I'm searching right now because this was a dead end, but the ones to the other side of the entrance to the Chaos Temple. If you are having trouble seeing the tracks, there is an option to turn your graphics down, you want to go to your graphics options and turn off terrain blending. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. It helps the prints stand out much better. So I couldn't really see the prints anymore, so I went to graphic settings, turned off ground decorations on the bottom right and terrain blending on the bottom right. Once you've found the tracks, you're just going to want to click high, ultra, high, low, medium, whatever you want to do to go back to your graphics options. But just continue searching these tracks until you find a pair that head up the little bridge over the lava there in the Chaos Temple. Once you've found the end of the path, you're going to get this dialog box here. Click through that and then go south into the Chaos Temple and use your Grummy key on the trap door. Your key's going to get stuck, open the trap door, and then go north. You're going to see a little balcony here. Look over the balcony to trigger a cutscene in which Zamorgul shows you that he can summon a Rav. And the guy you're with, Hartwin, freaks out a little bit. He freaks out because a Rav's dead and they brought him back to life. This is a non-skippable cutscene, so you have to watch it. You just have to click through all the dialogue until it's over. Once this dialogue is over, I turn my graphics back up so you'll see a little jump cut here. And then you're going to want to go west from here, pick up 3 bottles, they're on the floor, and start killing zombies one at a time and using the bottles on the red mist that summons when you kill them. So it's kind of hard to click. You can use the bottle, continue to right click until you see the red mist, and you'll get a bottle of red mist. If you kill a zombie on top of a red mist, that red mist will disappear and you will only get 1. So kill 1 zombie at a time, get the red mist, and then kill another. You can see I lost 1 there, so I had to kill 4 zombies here. Once you have the 3 bottles of red mist, go through the gate to your west, which triggers another cutscene in which Hartwin, you are all encountered with a Rav, and he talks to you and tells you to get out and what the plan is on destroying Varrock. Now he drains your red mist when the cutscene ends. And now you're going to want to kill 3 more zombies and get the red mist once more in this room. Once you've gotten your 3 bottles of red mist, you're going to go northeast through the gate. And then there's going to be another balcony to the south once you go through that you have to look over to trigger another cutscene. Now you're going to want to break the Varrock teleport once that cutscene's over that you are given. You'll return to Varrock, and now you want to go back to the Varrock castle to speak to Captain Roven. You'll probably get a thing in your dialogue box saying you're going the wrong way. Don't worry about that. Just have to go speak to Captain Roven because Hartwin will no longer be following you. Once you're at the top floor and you speak to Captain Roven, you and Hartwin are going to relay everything that happened in the wilderness to Captain Roven. And he starts to get worried, and you guys need to prepare the Shield of a Rav and figure out how to use its powers to stop the invasion of Varrock. They suggest the Imacando dwarfs, and your character tells them you know where to see an Imacando dwarf, which is Thurgo, who's located just south of Port Sarim, north of Mudskipper Point, by the Skeletor Wyvern's dungeon. So you're going to want to home teleport to Port Sarim. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry about that, guys. I just do that. I get excited when I do these guides. My bad. Anyways, go south from the Port Sarim lodestone. And you're going to speak to Thurgo in his house. Choose a third chat option. I'd like to ask about the Shield of a Rav. And he's going to tell you about the Lost Dwarf City and how you can repair the Shield of a Rav using blue-eyed ore and the sages. Once you're done with the dialogue here, you're going to want to go into the Skeletor Wyvern's dungeon to mine a blue-eyed ore. You're going to need it for a portion of the quest later. So just head down into the dungeon and go near the Ice Warriors and Ice Giants, because that's where you can find the Blue-Rite. Once you have the Blue-Rite ore, you're going to want to head to Ice Mountain, because that's where the Amikando Dwarf City is located, under Ice Mountain. So home teleport to Edgeville. That's going to be your fastest way there. And then from the monastery, you're just going to want to walk to Ice Mountain. You have to dig in a very specific spot on Ice Mountain, so make sure you're in the same place that I am when you dig. It's right near the Oracle, near the special white tree from Garden of Tranquility. Just follow the brown outline of the mountain and walk south until you can't anymore, and then dig in that spot. Dig twice, and then you're going to want to excavate it. Your character will mine it, and then you can go down the hole. You'll have this very old, poorly animated cutscene where your character kind of slides down standing up, and you're going to get put into the old collapsed dwarf city. Talk to the dwarf here. He tells you he's blind. And you're going to choose the fourth chat option. I wish to use the Sacred Forge. You tell him why. It's for the Shield of Arav, and he says it's for a noble cause, so go ahead and put a Blue-Rite in the Sacred Forge. So use your Blue-Rite on the Sacred Forge, and then talk to the dwarf once more. He's going to go over to the Sacred Forge, and this triggers a cutscene in which 4 random characters from quests that you have encountered will talk to you about the Shield of Arav, and then the 5th will be Zamorgul from the quest, who kind of kicks you out of your trance here and tells you it's too late to save Varrock. Once you're done with the cutscene here, you're going to want to head right back to Varrock. So home teleport to Varrock. And then run north from the lodestone all the way back to the palace. Once you get through the palace gates, it's going to trigger a cutscene in which the zombies are invading the palace. And then the zombie throws an axe at the camera here. And that's the end of the cutscene. Return to Captain Rovan on the northwestern tower. Talk to him, and he's going to give you the Shield of Arav and tell you should go talk to Reldo in the library. So you're going to head down to Reldo in the library, speak to him, and then choose the 4th chat option when it becomes available. I'd like to talk about the invading zombies. Now you're going to tell him that the Shield of Arav can only be used by a descendant of Arav. So you need to find out who the descendants of Arav might be from at the census just to your north on the lectern there. And then the scrolls just on the other side of the table here. Read both, exit out of them because this is a guide, you don't need that crap. And then you're going to go speak to King Rold and his advisor in this room here. So you're going to want to speak to King Rold first. No specific reason, but just so you can follow along with the dialogue options on screen if that's how you're doing it. So speak to King Rold and choose the first chat option to talk about the zombies. Click through the dialogue and eventually your character will give him the Shield of Arav to try out and see if it does anything special. It doesn't, so you need to talk to his advisor now, who will be in the same room. I can't remember his name. But choose the first chat option, Defender of Varrock, and then choose the first chat option once again to talk about the zombie invasion. Now your character is going to give him the Shield of Arav once more to try on. And now you're going to, since it doesn't work, you're going to go talk to Sir Pryson, who's on the west side of the palace. He's on the bottom floor, so just go in, talk to Sir Pryson. And there's no chat options here. Character just gives him the shield because he's irrelevant at this point. So you don't need any chat options. And nothing happens, so that's that. Now you're going to want to go talk to Curator Heg Hamlin, who is in the Varrock Museum. When you leave the Varrock Palace, you're going to be taken out of the instance with the zombies at the palace. So it's going to turn back to normal Varrock and go talk to the Curator. When you speak to him, you're going to want to choose the first chat option to talk about the zombie invasion. And it may have already happened to you at this point, but it happened to me here. He talks about the Fitzharmons. It could be any of the 5 characters you have to talk to, including the next one, Horvik, who could be the descendants of a Rav, so he might be able to use the shield. So Horvik is the armorer in Varrock. Just speak to Horvik and choose the second chat option to talk about the zombie invasion. Like the rest, he'll try to equip the shield, but nothing happens. So now it's time to go talk to Dominthius Fitzharmon, who's located in the fenced-in area in Varrock. He is just north of the fancy clothes shop, if you didn't notice from the little picture I put up there. So you're going to go speak to Dominthius, and when you do, choose the second chat option to talk about something else, and he's going to take the shield of a Rav, and something crazy is going to happen, and it's going to trigger a cutscene once you're done with the dialogue. He goes to the palace, and he uses the shield of a Rav to kill all of the zombies and save everybody in the castle. This scares away Zamorgel and his assistant, and you get teleported to the Captain Rovin's tower. Speak to Captain Rovin, click through the dialogue, and that's going to be quest complete. If this helped you, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below if you have any questions, tips, suggestions, or complaints. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're bored, check out some of my other stuff. I do boss guides, quest guides, and event guides. Thank you so much.